try to share things. How are you doing?
Okay, we're starting to broadcast. I'm just starting live, and I'll break in a second and then hand it over to you, Rabbi Chaim. I hope you're all well. It's nice to see you guys all here. So, good morning, folks, and welcome back to our live from Jerusalem to our good friends in Europe, especially our friend Mattis in Vilnius, Lithuania. We're joined by Cole in Washington State, United States, and of course our Rabbi Chaim Goldberg of Brit Olam in Jerusalem. Rabbi Chaim, how are you doing today?
Feeling very nice and very good. A lot of blessing from Jerusalem to everybody.
Excellent. We're so honored. I really enjoyed last week's class. I think we got a lot of great message in there, and you just keep going deeper and deeper. And I'm really blessed with this. More than that, learning more of Torah, which is so vital in this day and age.
Thank you very much. We're trying. This is one of the things that we spoke about, that we're not just, we don't want only to debate and to say how much, we against the Christian world or others. We want to teach the Torah, to show, to expose the things of the Torah, so people will learn, will manage to learn, will manage to see things, will manage to understand how exactly we read the Bible and we see the Bible, and how much this Bible can give all of us. I'm saying all the universe, all the people in the universe,
Yes.
the way of being together, reunite together. As we spoke, that we came from one person, from one man, from Adam and Eve, and we can be reunited together again, all of us, with the same, I will say, with the same foundations, even though each nation have the same own thoughts, and it's okay. But from the other side, we have still the same foundations and same beginnings, so we can think about things in the right direction.
Excellent. Yeah, we definitely all need to be on the same page.
Dan, can you see us, or you can't see us also?
Oh, I can see you guys perfectly. I'm sorry, it's just with one of my other broadcasts, I had switched cameras, and I guess it's the way I'm logged in, so I can't do it right now, even though I've switched it and booted in. I'm sorry you can't see me, Rabbi, but I'm live on the YouTube chat screen, and everybody can see you guys fine, as long as you can hear me. We've got a few people watching right now, and yeah, like I said, I'm thoroughly enjoying this trip through Genesis. I find you always seem to come up with something I've never heard before, though I've studied for years. There's always something fresh and something to ponder and digest.
Okay, so let me put you on the YouTube on the other computer, but it's okay. No, we will start. Let's start. I don't need to.
Hey, how are you?
Hello, guys.
Woo, why not? We didn't saw you. Long time no see.
Sorry to be late a bit. Hope I didn't miss a lot.
No, we just opened. No, we're starting in a few minutes. We're starting now.
I see.
We're going, hopefully, we're going to finish with the first chapter. Basically, we can speak about the first chapter of Genesis for more than a year, but we will continue on. There is still a few important things I want to teach on the first day that are essential for everything that we are doing, everything that we are speaking. And hopefully this is what we're going to speak. We're going to expose now from the first day, from the first chapter. And after that, we will manage to continue on to the second chapter and to start to see the differences and what we can learn from the second chapter. So what we're going to speak tonight, we're going to speak about the third verse of the Bible. And the verse is saying that God said, let there be light, and there was a light. We're speaking about the light, but I must mention a few things. First of all, we're not speaking about the physical light, speaking about the concept of the light. I explained this a bit in the courses that I put on Udemy, that the light is what giving us the right proportion where exactly we're sitting. Okay, when we're going inside to the room and everything is dark, so no one can relate where exactly his position vice to other things in the room. But when you're opening the light, suddenly everything is putting in the right place. You know where the table is, where the chair is, and where I'm sitting and where you're sitting down. So the light is something that's giving us the right proportion where to sit and where to be. And this is why basically we say that the light is also the way that we can reunite together. And God in the first day, he said, let there be light, but it's not only that there will be a light, it's more that he funded everything here. But there are so many mistranslations here in this small verse and so much to learn. So we're going to learn three things, okay? We're going to learn the word vayomer, what exactly when God is speaking, when God is saying, what exactly is he saying, or what is the meaning of him saying something. And we're going to learn the second part of the verse is what is the word yehi or, because all the translations lost this word of yehi or. And then we're going to be surprised why exactly we need to learn that when God wants something, it's happening. So it says in the verse, Vayihi, and there was a light. Of course, if God is saying that there will be a light, there is a light. That's it. So we don't need to say this. And it's a bit surprising that the Bible is saying this. So we're going to learn those three things. And if it's okay with all of you, we're going to dive inside to the first one. And the first thing is what is exactly the words Vayomer Elohim. Vayomer Elohim, the simplest translation is that God said. The word say, okay? So what exactly the word say means, okay? And how do we need to understand this word? And what is our moral lesson from this experience? And I know that I'm going to surprise you all, but the things that I'm going to speak today are based on our great rabbis, the Maimonides, and also Rabbi Yehuda Halevi and Rabbeinu Sead Yagon. Those are the most important, I will say, rabbis that came inside and did a lot of reorganization to explain what's happening. They are the connection that we have from the prophet's age to our age, okay? And when we are looking inside, deep inside to the Bible, we see that we have three explanations to the word say, or maybe I will use a different word. There are three ways that we are using the word say, okay? And it's very simple. The first one is very simple. In the Bible, I'm saying in the Bible is using the word say in three different ways. The first one is very simple, and we're taking a very known example that Moses came in front of Pharaoh and asked him, let my people go. And I'm reading it in Hebrew, and then Dan, as usual, even though I can't see you, you'll read it in English, okay?
All right.
Vayomer alehem melech, so I will know we didn't lose you. ויאמר עליהם מלך מצרים, למה משה ואהרון תפריעו את העם ממעשיו? לכו לסבלותיכם. Okay, please read it. But
the king of Egypt said to them, why? Moses and Aaron, do you disturb the people from their work? Go to your own labors. What is the exact meaning of the word says?
Okay, I'm asking all of you, what is the, when it says that the king of Egypt said to them, what is the exactly meaning of this word? What do you say, all of you? Say something. Very simple.
Spoke.
Spoke. Exactly, Cole. It's very nice. Everybody agree? He spoke with them.
For
So
sure.
the first meaning of the word say that the Egypt king, okay, is talking with the two old people that in front of him, okay, Moses and Aaron, they are 83 years old and 83 years old, and they're speaking one to each other, like I'm speaking now to the computer, basically to all of you, and you're speaking with me, you're answering me. So we're all speaking. So the word say, the first understanding of the word say is that we are speaking one to each other, okay? This is very simple. The second meaning of the word say is a bit different, okay? When Jacob is managing to steal from Esau the blessings, okay? And he's going to Isaac, and he's wearing the clothing of Esau, like he himself is Esau. After that, when Esau understands what's happening, Esau is really anger on Yaakov, and Jacob, and he says like that. I'm reading it in Hebrew. Vayistom Esav et Yaakov. He was hating him. Ala bracha asher bercho aviv. Vayomer, again, I'm saying the same word. Vayomer Esav belibo. Yikrevu yemei evel avi ve'aharga et Yaakov achi. Please read it down.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing that his father had blessed him. And Esau said to himself, let the days of mourning for my father draw near. I will then kill my brother Jacob. What is the exact meaning of the word says in this verse?
Okay, please. What is the exact meaning here? What do you say, all of you? What do you say, all of you? Please speak with me. What do you say about this?
He swore that after the death he will kill. So to swear or no?
In his own mind, yes. In his own mind.
It's something.
Probably.
Swearing is something that you say in your mouth. But
it could
here
be a promise.
That he spoke to himself. Okay, this is also it's written down very nice in the.
It sounds like he brooded. I don't know if you're familiar with the word brood. B-R-O-O-D. It sounds like he brooded in himself. It stewed in his mind, and it's kind of at the core of anger, where somebody stews within themselves and broods over a point.
Exactly. Yes. It's not that he spoke verbally. He spoke as Cole said, showed, in his mind, between his ears. He spoke with himself. When we're going to sleep, usually we're speaking with ourselves. This is the only time there, by the way, on the day that we're speaking with ourselves, because also when we're going to the toilets, we're taking usually the phone with us, so we won't be, by ourselves. This is our crazy world today. But usually, people are speaking with themselves. The question is how much they are aware to that. But again, we see that the Bible is taking the word say, even though it's not by speaking one to each other, but it's all speaking with yourself. As you said, the right word, Dan, also when you use this.
Brooding. Yeah, stew within his own mind. He kind of brooded. And people get that way. Ever see an angry person? An angry person tends to just brood. They stew. They look into themselves and they get they're frustrated.
Exactly. And they're starting to speak with themselves. Exactly. So this is the second use that we have to the word say. Okay. Now let's go to the third one. Does someone have a question? Yes or not?
What do you think of the meaning promise? So, a meaning just brood. It's like you are unhappy of that, and just say this, but it doesn't have such a weight as a promise. So I think in this case, it's a promise to himself. I promise myself that I'll kill him.
It is true. Okay. And by the way, if you want to be a bit more clear, it is true that this is what's happening. If we want to be a bit more clear, we can say that after in Europe, okay, after in Europe, we lost God, okay, we lost. What we say here that he's saying after the mourning of my father, okay, that we lost God, happened to be secular. This is what they did. They started to kill the Jews, okay, in the Holocaust. I don't have any other microphone. Okay, I don't have. Okay, so it's something that if we're thinking about this in a bit more deeper level, this is what happened. But you're right, Renat. It's that he's promising to himself that this is what he wants to do. But we see that the Bible is using the word say. Okay? Vayomer Esav belibo. Esav said in his to himself. So when the Bible is using the same word, we understand that the word say is when you're speaking with someone, like we saw in the first example. And also, when you're speaking to yourself, it's also the word say. I agree with you that he more or less he promised to himself that this is what he's going to do. Even though at the end we know that he didn't manage to do that. But okay. Now let's go
Rabbi?
to the yes or not. Yes.
The first example with the say was that when God says something to happen, it actually happens.
No. Just a moment. I went out from the first verse, and now we're speaking about other verses in we'll summarize it, and then we'll try to understand what exactly is written down in this verse of Genesis, okay? It's not so simple to say that. Now we go to the third example of the word say, and please don't be shy, and if you have questions to ask them. So going now to a situation in Exodus, in the beginning of Exodus, when Moses is growing up and he goes out to his family, to his friends, to the Hebrew nation, and after in the first day he is killing someone, and in the second day he is getting angry at two Hebrew people that are fighting one to each other, and because Moses got angry at them, they answer him this answer. I'm reading it in Hebrew and then you will read it in English, okay? Vayomer, the Hebrew people are saying to Moses, Mi samcha leish sar v'shofet aleinu, halehorgeni ata omer, again the same word, kasher haragta et hamitzri, vayira Moshe ve'omar, achen noda hadavar, okay? Please read it, Dan.
And he retorted, who made you a man, a prince, a judge over us? Do you say to slay me as you have killed the Egyptian? Moses became frightened and said, indeed, the matter has become known. What is the exact meaning of the word say? Meaning when he said, do you say to slay?
What do you say, people? It's a bit hard, but try. Try. No, if you won't try, you won't be able to.
It sounds more like a presupposition. Do you presuppose to slay me? In other words, a lot of people don't realize that when they make a statement or stand on a position, they're actually presupposing a lot of other things inadvertently by rote.
Okay, presuppose. Everybody agree with that?
I think, do you mean to slay me as you have killed and so forth?
When you say, do you mean, we're speaking about that the word say suddenly is getting a very high level of understanding. It's not, Renat, I think that you need to mute it. Renat.
Sure.
Oh, yes, here it is. Renat, take headphones. It will help you to, do you have headphones, Renat? Yeah. No, but yes, but Renat, I think that also said very to the point, something very, Renat, can you hear us now? Okay, everything is okay? Renat? Okay. Now we can open, we want here this, the Bible is using the word say. On the other side, as Renat said, it is something like much more the wish or the will of Moses. He's claiming that this Hebrew man is claiming against Moses that this is your wish to slay me like you did to the Egyptian yesterday. On the other side, the Bible is still using the same word, the word omer, the word say. So now we're taking another level, I will say, of understanding of the word omer, the word say, okay, that this is more the desire, the wish, the will of Moses, okay? And you were using the same word, the word say, to express a desire or a wish or will of someone. Okay, so I'm summarizing, and this is exactly what Renat said. You see, with us, Renat, it's okay, now you can hear us? Okay, so if I'm summarizing, basically what we have is like that. The first meaning that we have, or the first use that we have to this word, is that someone is talking to someone else. Excellent.
Pretty straightforward.
This is very simple, okay, very simple. The second use that we have to this word is that someone is talking to himself. Okay, you know what? It's still he is talking. He's talking to himself. It's not expressing it verbally. Okay. The third word that we have, the third explanation that we have, the third use that we have is that it's expressing an inside desire, an inside wish. Okay? In the same word, the word say, we're expressing some sort of a wish or desire that I have inside me. Now, if I will ask all of us, okay, now we can go back to the first verse. What meaning is the most in the first verse that we said in the beginning? Okay, that we said, and God said, there will be a light, and there was a light. When we're saying the word God said, what in those three meaning, those three understanding, do you think is the most suitable for the third verse of the Bible?
I think we have to go with number 3, Rabbi. I mean, because we know that God doesn't breathe in oxygen and vibrate a larynx so that the tongue moves and words come out. We know that that's not number 1. And when we say, is he just talking to himself? No, there was something that factually went on.
Okay. First of all, I don't know if you read the Rambam, Maimonides, because he's saying the exact words that he is saying, in almost in the same words, okay, of the Maimonides. He says something very simple, and he's also proving it in other verses. I didn't put this here because it's a bit more complicated, and it's start to speak about more and more verses and how to learn them. But this is exactly what the Rambam is saying. He's saying something very simple. First of all, there was no one there. There was nothing there in the world. Okay, so he's not talking to anybody else. So the first one is falling down. Now, the God that is speaking to himself, we see that something is happening there. So it's not that he's speaking to himself, and he's also proving from other verses that we must explain that God is expressing some sort of a desire, some sort of a wish. When we're saying, and God said there will be a light, God is saying some sort of a desire, some sort of a wish that he wants that something will happen, that the light will appear, that the light will be existed. And this is how to understand this verse. Now, the translations, they are not going inside to this issue at all. They're just saying the word say, God said, okay, very nice. So when someone is reading it, briefly, he can think to himself that God is speaking verbally, but it's not. We know that it's not true. God, as you said, Dan, is not. He doesn't have a mouth, and he's not speaking with his wind. Okay, it's not like us. So we must understand that he showed some sort of a desire, and it's very amazing to think about this, because when me as a person, okay, when we as a people of this world, when we want something, for example, we want a car, we want a house or something like that, okay? There's always a gap between our desire and the reality. There's a difference. The difference could be in time, the difference could be in actions. There is a difference between this issue. I want something, it will take time. I want something, it will take me more effort or something like that, okay? Planning is required to match our passion, okay, our aspiration, and to an actual implementation. But for God, and this is what we're reading in this verse, okay, and this is what we need to start to understand. For God, for the creator of the universe, the very will of himself, it's his ability, okay, or that this thing will become to reality. And God said, we're saying that God said it's his will. God said, and it happened. God said he wants a light, and it happened. The light happened. So for God, he doesn't have any gap, okay? It's not any effort for him, and it's not any gap between his will and his in the reality of his will. And this is the first only 2 words or first 4 words of this verse. Vayomer Elohim yehi or, and that's it. There is a light. Vayehi or, and God said there will be a light, and there was a light. And we need to understand this difference, I will say, between us and God. And we spoke about this a little bit when we spoke about the 3rd day and the difference between what God wanted and what happened, okay? And maybe we'll explain this a bit more at the end, but if you all remember, in the first, when we spoke about the 3rd day, God wanted that there won't be any big difference between the wish and the desire and the way to accomplish our wish, but at the end we have the tree and we have the fruits, and there is a difference between the tree and the fruits. But this is how we live our life today. We live our lives with this, that we need to do things so our wish, our will come to reality. But on the other side, with God, he is living in a different level. When he wants something, this is what's happening. Okay, so this is the first, I will say, 2 words that we have here in this verse. If there are any questions, this is the time. If not,
yes,
we'll continue.
there is. Can I ask Rabbi, is there another meaning for the word say? Because me and my wife has this book of Hebrew, yeah, and here is one verse. Here is written in Hebrew and also in translate. So we have it in Russian letters down, and we have translation. So ואהבת לרעך כמוך. רבי עקיבא אומר, זה כלל גדול בתורה. What this Omer in this verse, what does it mean? He's saying to somebody, he's saying to himself, or he wishes, or is there fourth
first of all, in the Bible, there are only 3 understanding of this verse, of the Vayomer. There are only 3. Rabbi Akiva, basically, he is saying to us, okay? Rabbi Akiva Omer, he is saying to us. And it's also a wish that he have with himself, that this is the main issue that will bring the world to a better world. And we know there is a story that someone came to convert to Judaism, or to Rabbi Hillel, and he said to him, to Rabbi Hillel, I want you to give me only one main sentence that I will understand what to do as a Jewish man. And Rabbi Hillel told him this verse, okay? He said it in a different way, but this is what he told him. So this is a very essential verse. We'll speak about this a bit more later on when we'll speak about Cain and Hevel, okay? And how Cain killed Hevel. We'll speak about this, the deep meaning of this, what we have, what is the main mission that we have in our world today. But what Rabbi Akiva is saying there, Rabbi Akiva Omer, he is saying to us that we will learn. We are all students of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva was one of the giants. When Moses gave us the Torah, so the story is saying, the Midrash is saying, that God showed him a lot of generations, forward. So he saw also Rabbi Akiva, and he said to him, to God, you have this man and you're giving the Torah with me, and because Rabbi Akiva is a very big giant, also person in the Torah, and he is saying to us that we need to learn that this is the most important verse of the Bible. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. By the way, the continuous of this verse is Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha ani Hashem. I will say it in because you asked. I will say it in few words. When you need to give a place to your friend, to give him space to live, to love him like you yourself, it's because you need to remember that like you have some sort of spark of God inside yourself with your soul, also your friend have. Ani Hashem, I'm God who created you and created him. So as I want him to give you space, also you give him space. This is basically the main issue of the Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. And this is what Rabbi Akiva is telling us, he's teaching us, he's saying to us, listen to my words. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha ani Hashem. Love your friend like yourself, because I'm God who created him and created you. This is why you need to love one each other. Okay? But it's also some sort of a wish of Rabbi Akiva. It's also interesting. We are in a period of time in the year that a lot of students of Rabbi Akiva died, and we are mourning in some sort of ways. We are mourning now in those weeks, and they died because they didn't took this verse to reality. They were all the time fighting one with each other, and this is why they died. And this is also some sort of a wish of Rabbi Akiva, that we will all learn that we need to Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, that we need to be with a lot of blessing and love one to each other. Okay, so those are the two issues.
Thank you, Rabbi. About this Ani Hashem, I heard it first time. I know this Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, or Gilel, who said, don't do to other that you hate yourself. But Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha ani Hashem, it fills the whole picture for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's true. This is people forgetting to read the rest of the verse, but it's okay. Let's continue on, okay? Because we want also to learn the second thing. So when we explained already, when God speaking, it is inside. Wish, Danny, with us? I can't hear you. Okay. Now I'm going to teach, and it's going to be a profound way, in a profound understanding, the next word that we have, the word Yehi-O. And this is also the only thing that I can say is that all the translation that I know missed this understanding, or missed the word, the Yehi-O. And if you will look on this word, we will see that it's also a bit reminding the word of God, okay? The word of God is a Yud, K, Vav, K. So it's beginning of the word of God also, but all of the translations, it's the most greatest missed opportunity, I will say, of all translations, because the word Yehi is really different. The translation is saying that, and God said, there will be a light, and there was a light. There was a light, that's it. But to understand a bit more to what is happening here, please let's go inside of it, and then we will see it also. My question is, what is the source, existence of any matter in our world? Okay, but when I'm speaking about the matter, I'm speaking about everything. Also, our body is part of the matter. So we have in our world a lot of matter, a lot of things that we can build from them, other things. So let's go step by step. It's a bit I need to do a small stop for a moment. Sorry for a moment. Okay, Dan, just a moment. I will give you in the meanwhile. No, please read this down. I'll start discuss about this. I'm coming in a minute.
Right on. Okay, so what is the source of existence of any matter in our world? In the world, there are trees, raw materials, The role of a carpenter is to process them to be into a table. Upon completion of his work, the trees in the form of the table will continue to exist without him. He doesn't suppose to stand next to his table so it won't fall apart. Why? I don't know about you guys, but I am a very, very scientifically bent individual. I came to a greater understanding of Hashem by understanding the laws of nature that Hashem has put into place. And, when I see in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and the earth was without form and void. And then as we've been reading in verse 3, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. I know that all scientific data can relate the moment factually to a soft collision between the earth and the moon, and a stamping process that began at that moment, and then the moon began to drift away, and in that there was light. But I love the Hebrew tradition that there is now the lights turned on in the room. In other words, there's a vantage point. Prior to verse 3, the earth was without form and void. And if one is truly scientific bent, they can understand a nebula cloud and the dust and debris and the hot molten stuff just all coming together. But to get to our solar system, we know that something captured our moon. Our moon is stuck in a tidal lock front facing. We always see one face of it, and it's drifting away continually. I love how we shared last week about the receding of the moon in their Hebrew tradition. These are things that we now have finally measured, which if you go back to the time of the Hebrew sages, there's nothing in existence that could have given them that understanding except through the concepts that you see in the Hebrew tradition. And I'm just blown away by the more I hear and the more that the true view of matter does not contradict anything that they're saying, and vice versa.
I'm sorry, it was something urgent. So I'm back. Okay. So I don't know exactly what you spoke. What I'm going to expose now, it's not starting, it's the logic of Aristotle, okay? I'm using it because we will understand now much better something that is related also to the Hebrew nation, that is saying this already from the time of the prophets. I'm going to expose everything, okay? So we started with a question of like I said, in this here, we have trees. Okay, it's a raw material. It's the main material that we have. And the role of the carpenter is to bring those pieces together, to organize them, to bring them together. And the question is, why doesn't the carpenter need to stand next to the table so the table will be stabled? Okay, why doesn't he? How come he can go away and the table will stay a table? Okay, I'm sitting next to a table. All of us sitting next to a table.
Because it is fashioned that way, Rabbi. It is simply fashioned to stand on its own. Okay. So usually also people are saying to me because they use the good glue. Okay, but this issue of the glue, okay, it's only a random reason. Okay, because you could use a better glue or bad glue, even if you use a bad glue, but it's not the issue. The issue is to understand, while the carpenter finished reorganizing those trees into a new shape to become a table, still the existence of the trees, okay, does not stem or not due from the carpenter. Correct. Okay? So the existence of the trees, it started from something else. The trees grew up somewhere in another place, and he just took them and he organized them differently. Therefore, if you will use the right glue and if you will do the right shape, it will stay, as you said, done. Okay. So this is, I will say, the main situation with this. So let's go. We understand now. Okay, in the natural world, to create a body, I'm going to another issue with us, human being. In the natural world, to create a body, there is a sperm and egg. Okay, parents' role is to connecting them.
And biologically, they turn into an organism that grows and exists physically, regardless of the parents, okay? Science knows how to make those connections also today in a different way, not only in the body. But again, the existence, okay, what is the source of the existence of the human body? It's not exactly from the father and mother, as we can see that the father and mother can go away and still the body will be holding by itself, okay? So the part of the, I will say, revives the body given by God, who is a life giver, okay? The body is alive because God gave you something. God put it inside, or put inside this body some sort of soul or something like that, that because of that, the body is alive, okay? And this is the main rule of God, I will say it like that. Till here, everything is okay, right? So let's continue on.
Rabbi, I heard that fourth part is land. Father, mother, Hashem, and land, because people eat fruits of the land.
No.
It's also from the Torah somewhere. I heard it.
No. First of all, in the Torah it says, in the oral tradition we say that there are three people, or there are three, sorry, not people. There are three who are involved in each person: father, the mother, and God. Now, the father and mother giving, as we spoke about, okay, the sperm and egg, and God is giving the soul. And when someone is dying, God is taking back his soul and giving back the body to the father and mother and saying to them, I took my part, take your part. But the body itself, okay, is being built up, I will say, through eating fruits and something like that. But it doesn't say anywhere, I don't know, anywhere in our tradition that we're speaking about the fruits or something like that as a source of the body. We do say something else a bit, that when we eat fruits, when we eat the animals or something like that, after we're slaughtering them, we are taking something that is in a lower level in our world, and we high valuating it to be a human being, okay? But again, the body itself, it won't grow up and it won't be alive without the life giver, okay? Without God who is giving life. We need to remember that. Now, it's the same thing, okay? God who gives lives is like the carpenter or the parents who provide life once at the beginning of the road, okay? And from there, that one moment again, they get away, God went away. And this is a very important question, because the carpenter that decided to take the trees and to shape them onto a table, or the parents who took the beginning of the body and started at the beginning of the body, but everything else connected without them, okay, went out without them. And
there's a big point here.
It's a similar thing that God is doing and we are doing. You wanted to say something, Dan?
No, but I know you're about to come up with a very, very, very big point, and there's quite a difference between the carpenter or the parents, for sure.
Exactly. Now, in Aristotle logic, I'm speaking about the modern logic that we have today, that it's based on the Aristotle logic, and this is what he is saying. When I create something out of nothing, okay, I'm actually making it exist, okay? As soon as I remove what I have done, it will again be non-existence or non-existent.
Wow, that is profound. There's something so deep there. Yeah, he's continually making it to exist.
Exactly. And God, in very differently from us. Okay, when God is creating something from nothing, He, I will say, put here something that it will happen, and when He is all the time giving this alive, I will say alive. And when He will take it back to Himself, it will be again non-existent at all. And this is a very big difference between God and His, I will say, and His work in this world, and us as human beings, that we are using things that we have in this world. And this is the logic. I'm saying this is also the logic of Aristotle. It's not only the logic of the Hebrew nation. And on the same word, we can start to understand what's happening with the issue of life and death. Okay, and if the Creator is giving life, if he removes his part, or in other words, God will go away, the presence of this man will end. He will die. This is what's happening, because God is all the time giving here something that we will manage to be alive, because everything was starting from nothing. And on the same, if I'll continue on, okay, according to the ancient Hebrew tradition, there is a renewal and connection every moment with God. Not only I will say that God is giving us soul, but also that he is rebuilding this world all the time, okay? Because the Creator is the reason for the connection between the body and the soul of life. But it's also going to everything else. Now we're starting to understand the word Yehi. Yehi is not only that he said it will be. It's not that he said that it will be. When he said that it will be, basically he created the light from nothing. Therefore, it's like he commands that this light must exist. Okay, he verifies that and strengthens his existence of the light. Okay, here in this world, without the words of God, without the God that is creating this thing from nothing, this thing will go back and vanish to be non-existent. And this is what the word Yehi is. Yehi is not just there will be a light and then God is doing a light and going away like the carpenter. This is how we live in our world. But God is doing something else. God is bringing this light to be appeared, okay, in this world. That something that wasn't here at all, and now he's all the time, he's putting inside, and I will say, it's like, to give an example, it's like the electricity, okay? When you have a light, when you want to open the light, okay, to light the light with electricity,
you have to close the circuit.
You want to have electricity for a moment, the light will shut down. You need to have the electricity all the time. And the same thing. When God said there will be a light, he put there some sort of electricity inside, okay? It's not electricity. He gave the existence of life, of the light to become, to reality. And if you will take back his electricity, yes, his existence of light, of this light, the light will disappear, will be non-existent anymore. And this is the word Yehi. Yehi is that it will be strengthened, that it will be here, that it will be a reality, that it will become a reality. Okay? You with me? I'm clear enough? Okay?
I get it. I just, it's a little different than the scientific steady state. Now, when science says that the universe is a steady state and it's just rotating and floating, there's much more going on behind the scenes, is what you're telling us. And I know science is getting closer and closer to seeing that there's much more going on behind the scenes.
It is true. And also the science, as you said, mentioned, is getting much more to this point, I will say, of understanding. If you can read the second half of the screen, please. God decreed
light. God decreed light, sustainability, existence, ordered, commanded. The will of reality that the Creator gives, expressed in the word Yahi, lasts all the time of its life. As soon as the Creator's will stop his say Yahi, this creature will again be no existence.
It's like all the time God is saying, okay, we need to listen. We can't listen to this. All the time God is saying this word, Yehi. And it's interesting to see that there are, this word Yehi is being connected only to three things in the creation, okay? It's being connected to the word light. It's being connected also to the words of the sun and the moon. what we say, we spoke last week, those two big lights, luminaries,
Luminaries, yeah.
and one of them is big and one of them is small. And it's also being related to men, okay? Vayehi Adam lenefesh chaya. It's in the second chapter, that man had became more than an animal, okay? Something that is alive. And those three things also are related to, I will say something that is related also to the world to become, not only for our world. But this is the exact understanding of the word Yehi, that God is all the time giving this life, that it will appear, that it will become, that it will happen. And it's bringing this to become a reality, okay? And the first day is teaching us that the Creator created everything from this word, both the physical part of the world, even the parts of the human body, from nothing. And therefore, when He will take back, okay, there's a connection of life to the human body, which is constant, ongoing activity. So to all parts of the physical world, they receive the existence from the Creator continuously, okay, all the time, because the Creator is a reason for this existence. And this is what I said, the difference between the carpenter, who is not the reason of the trees, of the material. The Creator is the reason of everything. So He is giving life. But now, because the science today, we spoke about this issue previously, okay? The science today is basically all the time is digging inside to the physical world, and this physical world is today stable with a lot of laws of the nature laws. So people are getting a bit confused and saying to themselves, no, this is, we know how it's working. But we need to understand that God is creating everything from nothing. Therefore, He's all the time in ongoing situation, so we will be created, that we will be existed in this world. Okay? The Creator is the reason for the existence of the trees, as well as the reason for the presence of the human body. So it's everything here is connected to this creators, to the Creator will. I want to jump for a moment to this. I want to go a bit to the moral issue, or to moral understanding of this issue. Basically, we don't really know this situation of the creation, because we never saw something like that. We never saw a creation. Okay, we saw something a bit similar when a baby is going out from his mother's womb, because before that we didn't saw life. Now we see life, even though when a baby is going out from his mother's womb, before that he kicked his mother a bit. He was big enough to kick his mother. But we don't really see a creation. And the question is, why did the Torah started, with the first chapter, and trying to explain to us, or to show us, to bring to us this understanding of creation, where we don't have any experience, a real experience of creation, something from nothing. We don't have this experience, something from nothing. And what we do see in our world is only the nature of the world. And we spoke about this, that after this is exactly the seventh day. Until the sixth day, God created a lot of things. From the seventh day, He is resting, He's sitting aside, and we need to organize all sorts of things. But the Torah started from the beginning. And the answer is that we will start to understand, okay, in our mind, I will say, that there is some sort of renewal here in our world. And this renewal issue is going on all sorts of levels. It's going on the miracles, what we call the nature. This is the issue of prophecy. And this is the issue of the free choice. I can decide to do something now, and I can decide to do it differently, and I can decide something really the opposite way tomorrow. I have my free choice because I'm all the time getting a renewal life, and I can do a lot of things. And also the issue of redemption, the personal redemption that we can have, or even the, I will say, the redemption of the nations or something like that. This is all being based that God is all the time being connected to our world. And this is something that the translations missing, because they're saying, you're reading this sentence, this verse, and God said there will be a light, and there was a light. No, it's not like that. God created everything from nothing, and therefore He existed all the time in us, or here in this world, in a very hidden ways. But on the other side, this is the main issues that is giving us all the time the opportunity to renew ourselves. And the question is, how did you renew yourself today? Okay, this is a question that I'm asking here. How did you renew yourself today? And I want to show this in a verse. We know this verse, and we in the Hebrew Nation, we're saying this verse every morning. And the verse is going like that. Please download this verse.
You want me to read Nehemiah chapter 9?
Yes, yes.
Oh, you alone are Lord. You made the heavens of the heavens, and all their host, the earth and all that is upon it, the seas and all that is in them, and the heavenly hosts bow down before you.
Okay, and now I must say, I took out 4 or 5 words. Okay, in Hebrew it's 3 words, 4 or 5 words in English. And now let's read this again with those words. Okay.
I'm sorry, I was dealing online. You want me to read, and you give life to them all? And
yeah, but please read all the sentence again. All the sentence again.
Okay, you alone are the Lord. You made the heavens of the heavens, and all their host, the earth and all that is upon it, the seas and all that is in them, and you give life to them all. And the heavenly hosts bow down before you. Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 6.
So the issue is that it really says, and you give life to them all. You, God, you brought them to become here from nothing, from the non-existence. Therefore, you all the time, you need to give them life. So it's very simple to see life in the animals. It's very simple to see life in the human being. It's really hard to see life in the trees or in the stones. But we know today, okay, the science also knows today that everything here is all the time dynamic, and everything here is not only staying stable, but it's also have some sort of life. We don't know exactly how to express those life and everything else. But this is the logic also of Aristotle and also of us, that God is all the time giving life to the 2 sides of this world, to the side that we have, that we see the life, and to the side of the material, okay, the raw material that we have in this world. Those 2 things are getting life, and this is what is being expressed in the word Yehi, that God is giving here life to this world, that it will start to appear, that it will start to be, and He's giving everything here, all of this life to this world. By the way,
wow.
We also can find the unity of all of us, because all of us are connected in one way or another to this issue of life that we have in this world. Questions? Yes.
Well, I just find, so that term Yahi that you've been using and explaining is that which is infused into everything that exists, all matter. And I can see that in the atomic spin, and even below, the more they begin to divide the atom and subatomic and keep going smaller, this motion is still there. There is something that we can see, and just like you mentioned, the rocks or the tree, there is that infusion going on.
It is true. It is true. We see today that everything is moving, everything is alive in all sorts of ways. And today, in the last few months, there are a few researchers that are saying or speaking about that everything in this world is more, they dived inside very deeply to this issue, that everything in this world is more energetic issues and not only matters.
What kind of issue, Rabbi? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that word.
Energetic issues. Everything here is energy, not only matter. Yes, everything is energetic. And we say already from the beginning, and this is the word Yehi. Yehi is something a bit different. Again, if we will look inside in the first chapter, we will see that God is not saying that there will be a sea, that there will be land. He's not saying yehi, okay, for those things. He's just allowing them to divide themselves. The sea will be in one part and the land will be in another part. And the land can create all sorts of things, okay? Because what we're saying basically that God created everything here in this small verse, and it's also written down in other in Rashi, in other places. God invented everything here. He created everything here from nothing. And from there on, he's just organizing everything, reorganizing, so men will be able to come to appear here. But at the same level, we need to understand it's like the electricity, okay? That we need the main power station that is all the time giving life to everybody else, to be alive here. And this is exactly this word, and it's a special word, okay? The word yehi. There is also, with this I can go on another stage. I didn't put it here, so I will say it by heart. There's a verse in Psalms, and the verse is saying, "Yihiyu leratzon imrei fi, ve'egion libe lefanecha." I know what, maybe I can find it in a moment. It is. It's open to me. No, it's not. Just a moment. If I'll find it in a moment. There is a verse that is saying, Yihiyu leratzon. And again, here it is. If you can read. Verse 15. Can you read the verse 15, please?
Sure. Hang on, I got to move the... Verse 15. May the sayings of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer.
Okay, now again, the translations missed this word because the word is saying, again, the same word, yihiyu. And what I'm asking here, and this is very interesting, we have a power in our mouth to get connected with God, with the prayer and everything else. And what we're asking that, and this word is saying that we're going to the source of everything. Okay, like we said in Bereshit, that you said, Yihi or, the source of the light is coming, source of the light is starting with God. And again, we're saying the same word here. We are praying, we're asking God that everything that I said will get connected to the source of life, with you, God. Now the translation missed it, everything. Okay, translation are not saying this right word or not explaining it, because again, this word is very hard to explain in the Hebrew tradition. Okay. This is what is meaning. It is meaning to go to the source of everything, and the translations just skipped up on this issue. And this is again one of the biggest myths that we have with this translation issue. I want to finish or to finalize with something with the last words that we already spoke. We mentioned this already a few times. And this is a surprising that when God is asking that something will happen, and suddenly we need that the verse will say to us that it happened. Now, what I know, that God, the Almighty, can do whatever he wants to do. So if he wants that there will be a light, why do we need to say that the light appeared, that the light happened? Now, we asked it already the last time also. And I'm reminding all of us things that we've learned in the previous lessons, that at the beginning of the world, everything here in this world had, I will say, the free choice to listen to God or not to listen to God, to do exactly what he said or to do something similar to what he said. And what is surprising here, that God asked something to happen, and it really happened. You can see it also with the words. They are the same words, Yehio vayhio. The only place in this first chapter that it says that God asked something, and this is exactly what happened. All of the rest of this chapter, we will see that God is asking things, and it's something similar is happening, not exactly what God is asking, because everything here had a free choice. All of this free choice got frozen, okay? They lost all of the free choice because it stayed only by us, a human being, from the sixth day. And this is where we are gapping up, okay, to speak next time on the human being and what exactly his role and how exactly he's going to function in this world. And we're going to go to chapter number 2 from the next lesson that we're going to be hopefully next week. More
Wow,
questions?
that
I
is
have some.
profound, Rabbi. There's some really deep stuff in there, and yeah, I'm going to have to really ponder on it a lot. I mean, exactly what this Yahi has infused, and it sounds like you're going to take us further next week, where we can understand our role in the matter, and there's just some big stuff in there.
I think so. By the way, this is almost ready. This lesson that we did now, and I'm going to put it on also on the how do you call it, Udemy as a lesson. Hopefully this week. I hope that this week already I'm going to put this on Udemy. Again, that I want that people also will learn it as lessons with the questions and answers, so people will manage to go inside in each way that's more comfortable for them, or that they will see the video, or that will chat alive, or that they can see it also on Udemy through my site, so you can get it for free. If there are any more questions, this is the time. This is the time for more questions. You also
any questions, Mattis, Renat, Cole? You guys got any questions? I've got nothing online.
Cole, good to see you this time. Okay, good to see you also.
Be here, thank you.
Sorry?
It's good to be here. Thank you.
Not a problem. Everything is clear, Renat?
Yeah, I've got a question. I'm a bit
Yes.
Confused by the word renew. If you take the example with turning on the electricity and having it supplied to the lamp, and the lamp keeps lighting up until we turn the switch off. So we supply permanently the electricity, so we maintain the supply of electricity. Isn't same here that God maintains the life, or he indeed renews it every day?
No, exactly. Because God is all the time maintaining life, he's all the time renewing us. Okay? He is all the time giving us new, I will say, power. And this is where we can renew ourselves in all sorts of things like we spoke. Okay? I gave you a list of things. Okay?
But why do we need this?
The nature. Sorry?
Why do we need this? Why do we need the renewal itself? Why not maintain? Because renewal means that when something is off, you just give it back life, right? A body is that you renew it with a new life, right? So, but maintaining it's alive, but you keep supplying it energy. In our case, the energy of the soul, right? And then you maintain this life until you decide to take it away, to take the soul out of the body.
Yes, but from the other side, if your day to day will be the same as yesterday, and will be the same as the day before, without learning anything new, without doing anything that to bring the world to a better world, so something new that you didn't do yesterday, or something more that you didn't do yesterday, so why are you alive today? So one of the things that we need also to do in our life is to all the time continuous with ourselves to another stage, to another, I will say, another to climb another step in the ladder, okay, in our life. So for one side, it's we're still alive. On the other side, we need to continue on. We need to renew ourselves to another step. We can't stay all the time on the same like it was yesterday. It's also, if you will look at this, the beat of the heart, okay? How do they show it? How do we see it in the medical issue? We see it all the time, climbing up and going down, climbing up and going down. So we also all the time renewing ourselves with this issue. This is life. If we don't want to speak about life, what we say that he is dead. So, and this is what I'm asking. I'm asking myself, since we all the time getting from God, he is all the time connecting us from the source, and we are connected to the source. This is also for us the opportunity to continue on, not only to do the same, but to do more than what we did yesterday, to do one step more, one step stage. You know what? People are searching for their spouses, okay? And then they're showing them to their parents, and then they're deciding to get married, and then they're having also kids. Why? Because we all the time continuing on. We're not staying on the same stage that we were yesterday. And this is where we are asking ourselves all the time, how did you renew yourself today? Okay? You're not staying the same. You need all the time to progress with yourself, to continue on.
And I think that's the heart of life.
Yeah, I completely agree that it should be a permanent growth line. But isn't that similar to the concept you talked the other time, that there should be always a stretch and then relax, stretch and relax? This amplitude that you just gave the example with the heartbeat.
No, it's true, but this is life. You saw with me also this. We spoke about this in Michael. We have from time to time all sorts of crises. We can't stay all the time just in one line going up. Always is a bit of down and going up, upper, and going continue a bit of down, going upper. The crisis is also part of the rebuild ourselves, okay, helping us to rebuild ourselves to a stronger stage than we were before. So it's very important to know that this is life, and we need all the time to ask ourselves and to continue on to do more with ourselves, with the people around us, and for the family, for the nation that we are inside, to go on to the next stage. And the source of our ability to do that is because God is all the time with us. This is basically what we said here. Okay, the source, the ability of doing something like that is because we are connected to the source. And as more that we are connected to the source, we are managing to have those, I would say, powers to stand up and to renew ourselves, to do redemption, to do everything, to continue on, to go to the next stage.
Excellent.
Thank you for clarification.
So can I ask last question? So
of course, yes.
How do I renew myself? So I think it's my opinion, the renewal of the man is a renewal of his connection to the Creator, or renewal of his emunah. Because if you connected to Einot Milvado, that's no one beside him here, but you have that crisis, as you said, you have to renew your connection. Because when crisis or something bad happens, then you disconnect from the God. You disconnect from Hashem, loving Hashem, Tov Metiv. Yes or no? So my renewal is my renewal of my connection to Creator.
It is I say it in Hebrew, okay? Halevai, it was so simple. It is not so simple as you're saying it. It is half true what you're saying. It's a very deep issue. It is true that you need to be connected to God, but I must also mention that we are connected with God also with the bad things that are happening to us, and how to live this, I would say, tension between, from one side, the fear from God, and from the other side, the love to God. Those two tensions that we have all the time, and those are two, I would say, two roads that are drawing us the lines. And as more that we are getting knowledgeable, and more that we are doing things, or there are two things that we need to do, not from one side to learn, from the other side also to do things, not only to stay with the knowledgeable issue. We are managing to get closer to God. There are times that we're getting also all sorts of crises. It's not saying that we are getting far from God. It might be that sometimes that the crisis that we have is the most powerful time that we are related, that we are connected to God, and He is also helping us to go out from this crisis. So it's a bit more complicated. It's worth a lesson, okay? At least one. Maybe it will be more than one. It's worth a lesson. Maybe we will start speaking about those things next week. I'm not sure. Maybe. Let me see exactly. I have a few days to reorganize myself for the next lesson. And we are going to speak a bit about the role of man in this world. You know what? Maybe it is connected also to this issue. And I will put inside those ingredients of this issue of how to be connected with God, and it's also open. It's true that when you read every day few verses from the Bible. It's also giving a lot of inspiration. This is not the only thing. A lot of things can give us a lot of inspirations, and it's very important to know that we have this spark with connection with God that can give us a lot of inspiration and renewal of every day.
Wow. Wow, that's great, Rabbi. I really appreciate, and I really hope that people learn to plug into that more and more each and every day. And I'm so enjoying learning the clarification for what that plugging in is all about, but more so knowing that Hashem is there and has everything under complete and utter control. And more than that, we can tune our ears and interface with Him to a degree and begin to walk in His ways and execute His statutes. It's just an honor to share your lesson.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for attending, and hope to see you all next week. And if you have any questions, always you can send me. Okay. Yitzchak, goodbye. Good night. Go to sleep already.
Have a great week, folks.
Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.